It was a great all-around performance for us on both ends of the floor. I thought our defense was really disruptive, forcing 31 turnovers. That's an excellent offensive team. We knew that going in, had a lot of respect for, what they've done and the type of players that they had, and really concerned about trying to take them out of their execution. And I thought from the start, our intensity, our competitiveness was at a really high level, and it carried through most of the game to put together that type of defensive performance. And I think we've played defense really well the last couple of weeks. But to build on that and have the attention to detail with our scheme was all high level. And that's a credit to the players coming ready to attack the matchup and put ourselves in position to win the game. And then, I thought offensively, Toby, Ashlyn, and Reagan were very aggressive from the get-go to attack and hunt good shots for themselves, and they were efficient as well. So overall, just very pleased to get a win at home. In this league, you got to take care of home because the road is so difficult. It's great to start off this 2-game set with a win.
Kara, going back to, I think it was the UNC game afterwards, you said this felt like the first kind of great defensive performance the team had. And Nick, you mentioned you've stacked a few great defensive performances in a row now. Has the difference just been kind of the focus and intensity, or what has kind of ratcheted up for you all as a team defensively?
I think it's just been time. Defense, you have to grow into who you're going to be. I think not just defense, offense too. I think your team grows into who you're going to be through the course of the season. And certainly in November and December, we had some new people and some new places, young front court, and we just weren't that evolved yet on the defensive end. And now we're evolving. We're not a finished product yet, but we're getting better. We're able to take people out of things. It's starting to feel more like a Duke team. And it hadn't felt like that for the first couple months for me. They were trying hard. It wasn't an effort thing. It just takes time to have that connectivity and also to have those experiences of certain actions. And now they're seeing repeat actions, and there's some similarities to certain game plans. So they've done it before. They've had reps in that before. All of that takes time, and then you can get really, really assignment correct with that stuff. And then obviously we have an athletic roster. And that helps. The athletes that they are allow us to really play at a high level defensively. And, we're devoid of a rim protector too. So what this group has put together the last couple of weeks on the defensive end is super impressive without someone that can kind of erase the mistakes in front of you.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about Tiena's impact on this game and her ability to make plays on offense and defense even when, her shots aren't going in?
I'm glad you mentioned her. That's a very nuanced question because most people will look at the statistics and think that she had a minimal impact on the game. Someone that goes 0 for 3 and has 0 points, how good could they have played? I thought she was maybe the most impactful player in the game for us. Her intensity, her competitiveness, her edge, how she disrupted point of attack defense, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 4 steals, and just commanded her space out there. And I told her that after the game. There's so many more ways to impact winning other than scoring. And she understands that now as a junior. It's something we preach in our program. But, some players, if they're only got 3 shots or didn't make a shot, it would bleed into the rest of their game. And it certainly would bleed into their psyche. Man, she's so tough. She cares about winning. And that's the best thing about her is she cares about winning. And I thought she was fantastic tonight.
Coach, we knew that we just talked to Charmin in the other locker room, and she knew this was not going to be an easy matchup for Cal tonight because you guys are so active defensively. So they probably need another ball handler or 2. The possessions where there weren't a turnover tonight, there are 31 turnovers is really impressive. But, sitting courtside, when there wasn't a turnover, I just thought you guys were there. I thought you guys closed out, and I thought you put yourself in a great position to make a great defensive stop. And it wasn't just forcing turnovers.
I thought it was a complete defensive performance by our group. We're not necessarily playing defense to get the takeaway. If our pressure and our physicality creates that, certainly we'll take it. We'll take the steal, or we'll take the travel, or we'll take the offensive foul, whatever it is. But we want to be disciplined as well, not reckless. And I think that's a fine line. You want to pressure. You want to force people to play faster than they're used to. You want to make them uncomfortable. But you don't want to be reckless and give up open opportunities. And so I thought they walked that line really well tonight. Because if you get reckless against Cal, they're going to be making three after three after three, against you. So we played with great purpose, and we played with great discipline. And this is definitely one of our better defensive performances this season.
Yeah, Coach, the rebounding margin tonight was 11. You guys won the boards. Toby had 11. Just kind of curious from your perspective how you've mentioned before how you don't exactly have a true rim protector and a true big in the middle, but how impactful is she on the glass and helping you guys do what you do?
I think she can be very impactful on the glass. I think her rebounding numbers can continue to climb because she has great athleticism, long arms, and then she has big hands too. And she has a nose for the ball. And she's always been a great rebounder ever since I started watching her play. So she can get to a lot of those kind of unpredictable balls off the rim, and she does a good job of positioning herself, and so I think she's somebody that can continue to evolve into hopefully a dominant force on the glass for us, along with Jaden. Jaden's been our best rebounder this year, and then obviously Alucci continues to lead the way on the wings, and so those three I think can really be a force for us.
Not to ask another Toby question, but you mentioned how happy you were with how aggressive she was coming out of this game. She said that this was kind of the first time that she felt herself since her injury against Boston College. When she is playing at her best, what does that look like? Are you seeing her kind of return to form since that injury?
I think when she's playing her best, she has an attack mentality, and she's playing with like a lot of emotion and competitiveness and, finishing plays. She's shown the ability to finish, and that's an element that, we hadn't had consistently over the last couple of years, like someone that we could throw it to in the paint and that could finish consistently. So I think that's made our offense a little bit more diverse this year than just being so contingent upon our wings scoring. We love when our wings score, but to be able to have players like Toby and Delaney as well is efficient in the paint, that helps us have some balance. And so we miss that, we miss that. When we don't get that, I think it makes us tougher to defend.
Coach, this week is We Back Pat Week. Could you just talk a little bit about that and the significance of it, and then also, what it means to you?
It's a week to honor my college coach and really to honor someone who I think is the most important figure in our sports history when you think about it, when you think about what Coach Summitt did for women's basketball, not only domestically but internationally as well. And most of what we do is based off of what I learned from her. Most of our foundation, our structure, how we run our program on the court and off the court stems from that. Have I modernized some things? Of course. But most of that comes from that. And they played like we used to play tonight on the defensive end. All right, I don't know how many people here used to watch us back at Tennessee, but we used to get after it defensively. And if you watch that game tonight, and I don't say that very often, that they remind me of our teams, but man, defensively, that looked a lot like Tennessee. That looked a lot like Coach Summitt's teams at Tennessee. the way they attacked and disrupted, and it was so I don't know that they were mindful of that at all. They were just young women out there playing the game, but it did feel like that to me as a coach.
Coach, there was, the big news this week in women's basketball was that units are finally coming and they're approved, and women's college basketball teams are going to get a share of the cut when it comes to the NCAA tournament. You've played in your share of games, now coached in some NCAA tournament games as well. Just kind of wonder what you think about that. I don't know. Considering this is We Back Pat Week, I kind of wonder if you think about what Coach Summitt would have thought of units finally coming to women's college basketball.
I think Coach Summitt would have thought it's about time, is probably what she would have said. It's about time that everybody's starting to catch up to how great a sport this is, how many great programs we have, great figures, coaching figures and players. And so I think that's what she would say, if short and succinct. What took y'all so long?
Any more questions for Coach Lawson?